Step into the world of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, a beloved TV series hosted by the friendly Fred Rogers. Airing in the late 1960s, it became a staple for families across the nation. Behind the scenes, discover funny, shocking, and even sad facts about the show. Did you know about unexpected guest appearances or behind-the-scenes anecdotes that will change how you see the neighborhood? Now, do you have a cherished memory associated with this timeless series? Or perhaps, who was your favorite classic Hollywood actor in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? As you ponder that, get ready for surprising revelations about the show's history. Share your stories and memories in the comments below. Embark on a nostalgic journey through the neighborhood filled with laughter, surprises, and maybe a tear or two. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood has more to offer than meets the eye. It's a journey worth revisiting. The 1968 TV series Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood made a lasting impression on popular culture and became a beloved family show. It significantly influenced children's programming and left a lasting impact. During its original run, the show gained praise for its unique approach to educating and entertaining children. Fred Rogers, the friendly host, created a comforting environment that appealed to both kids and adults. The simplicity of the neighborhood, combined with Rogers' genuine warmth, made it an engaging experience for viewers. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood wasn't just a TV show, it became widely popular. This was evident in the numerous spin-offs, merchandise, and adaptations that followed. The characters from the show, like King Friday the 13th and Daniel Tiger, became favorites among children. The show's influence extended beyond the screen, inspiring educators, parents, and creators. Its lessons about kindness, empathy, and self-acceptance became ingrained in cultural practices, influencing the way people approach child development and education. The show's lasting impact is also seen in its continued relevance. Even decades after its original broadcast, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is still celebrated and remembered. The timeless themes ensure that new audiences continue to discover and appreciate the magic of the neighborhood. In conclusion, the influence of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood on popular culture is immeasurable. Its impact during its time, as well as the subsequent spin-offs and adaptations, showcases the enduring legacy of this beloved TV series, making it a cornerstone in the history of children's programming. The 1950s laid the cultural and historical foundation that influenced the themes and content of the 1968 TV series Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. This era was marked by post-World War II recovery, the beginning of the Cold War, and the emergence of the Civil Rights Movement. The societal shift towards suburban living and the rise of television as a central medium for entertainment were defining features of the time. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, debuting in the late 1960s, reflected the prevailing sentiments of the 1950s. The show's creator, Fred Rogers, drew inspiration from the prevailing ethos of the post-war era, emphasizing values of community, kindness, and simplicity. The cultural backdrop of the 1950s, with its emphasis on traditional family values and communal harmony, provided the fertile ground from which the neighborhood's ethos blossomed. Rogers' approach was a departure from the fast-paced, often frenetic content dominating television. Against the backdrop of the civil rights movement and growing social awareness, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood stood out as a gentle, inclusive space. Rogers used the show as a platform to address social issues, promoting tolerance and understanding. The characters in the neighborhood, like King Friday the 13th and Daniel Tiger, were crafted in a way that resonated with the cultural sensibilities of the 1950s. They embodied timeless virtues and became symbols of enduring values that transcended the specific era of the show's creation. Moreover, the 1950s saw a burgeoning interest in child psychology and education, influencing Mr. Rogers' approach to content. The show's emphasis on emotional intelligence, self-acceptance, and empathy mirrored the evolving perspectives on child development during that period. In conclusion, the historical context of the 1950s, with its emphasis on community, traditional values, and the burgeoning understanding of child psychology, provided the backdrop against which Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood flourished. The show's enduring appeal is a testament to its ability to capture and reflect the essence of that bygone era, leaving an indelible mark on the landscape of children's programming. Carole Spinney, famous for playing Big Bird, and Oscar the Grouch on Sesame Street, made a memorable appearance on the show in the 1980s. However, when given a script that required him to show how the Big Bird puppet worked, he said no. Spinney wanted to keep the magic alive for kids and chose to be part of a segment in the neighborhood of make-believe instead. In the Go Stop Go week, something interesting happened with numbers. The numbers 143 on King Friday the 13th and Handyman Negri's firefighter helmets meant something special. Fred Rogers' way of saying I love you by counting the letters in each word. Even though this concept was fully explained in 1996, it had quietly appeared in earlier episodes. Fred Rogers decided to stop making new episodes in 2001, but he never directly talked about it on the show. He thought that kids would grow too old for the show before realizing that only reruns were being shown. This quiet exit marked the end of a significant era for the beloved show. Fred Rogers' family played a notable role in the show. In a 1972 episode, his son Jim Rogers made an appearance, and in 1990, both Jim and his son Alex joined in the Fathers and Music episode. This family connection added a personal touch to the show, showcasing a genuine family dynamic. Rogers' iconic sweaters, approximately 25 in total, were all hand-knit by his mother as Christmas presents. Each year, she crafted one for each of her children, contributing to the cozy and familiar image viewers associate with Mr. Rogers. This personal touch reflected the simplicity and warmth that defined the show's appeal. Despite its wholesome nature, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood faced its share of parodies and satires. Fred Rogers, however, expressed a preference for those that demonstrated an understanding of the show's essence. Notably, he admired Eddie Murphy's Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood sketch on Saturday Night Live, even posing for a photo with Murphy. This acknowledgement showcased Rogers' ability to appreciate humor while maintaining the integrity of his creation. In the neighborhood of make-believe during the Go Stop Go week, the numbers 143 on characters' firefighter helmets held a special meaning. Fred Rogers' way of conveying I love you by counting the letters in each word. This subtle inclusion revealed Rogers' thoughtful and creative approach to connecting with his audience. In a unique decision, Fred Rogers quietly concluded the show in 2001 without explicitly addressing it on air. He believed children would outgrow the show before realizing that only reruns were being broadcast. This understated exit marked the end of an era for the beloved series, leaving a lasting legacy in the hearts of viewers. During its runtime, the neighborhood trolley covered about 5,000 miles in a year. The modest transportation means a lot to the show's connection with viewers, symbolizing the discovery journey in each episode. François Clemmons, a key figure on the show, faced societal norms, leading him to hide his homosexuality. Despite prevailing attitudes, the show's compassionate host became a supportive ally for Clemmons, showing acceptance. Mr. McFeely, known for speedy deliveries, had two distinct speedy delivery songs. The second version, introduced in 1991 and used from 1997 to 2001, reflects subtle changes in the show's dynamics. In quirky details, the numbers 143 on King Friday the 13th and Handyman Negri's firefighter helmets during the Go Stop Go week had a special meaning. Deciphered by Fred Rogers in 1996, it was his unique way of saying I love you. Fred Rogers quietly concluded the show in 2001, believing children would naturally outgrow it. This understated departure marked the end of a significant era, leaving a lasting impression on viewers. In this timeless series, family played a notable role, with Fred Rogers' son, Jim Rogers, making appearances in 1972 and 1990. The show's warm touch extended to Rogers' sweaters, all hand-knit by his mother, contributing to the cozy image associated with the host. To sum up, the journey through Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood goes beyond the screen, covering miles traveled, personal evolutions, and musical changes. It's a story woven with coded expressions and genuine family connections, leaving a lasting impact on the cultural landscape.